Welcome, whoever you are, to Meg's Magical Mansion, a virtual guest house for spiritual wayfarers, a place where the ordinary becomes magical, where wisdom is yours for the asking, and where your higher nature is just a wish away. Thanks for joining us here today at Meg's Magical Mansion. I'm Meg with my charming and scrumptious parlor maid, Parfait.
Charmed.
And today, in case you can't tell, we are not at the Magical Mansion.
We are not in Kansas anymore, and we decided to go on a road trip.
We're in Tonopah, Nevada at the World Famous
Clown Motel.
And museum and gift shop and cemetery.
Everything, actually. Yeah, the cemetery we didn't even know about until we arrived.
It's the best. I mean, did you see all the people that are buried over there?
There are a lot of.
So that cemetery was active from like 1901 to like 1911. And this was a big mining town back then.
Absolutely.
So there were accidents in the mine, and a lot of people who were, killed in the mine are buried over there. Let's take a look at some of the creepy stuff at the cemetery.
Ooh.
There are about 300 people buried here in the old Tonopah Cemetery. The cemetery was active from 1901 to 1911. Some of the people buried here died from injury. There was a big fire at the Belmont mine that killed a number of people. There are suicides and even murder victims here. This cemetery has been lovingly maintained by the Central Nevada Historical Society, specifically Alan Metzer. And the Tonopah Conservation Crew has rebuilt or constructed many of the headstones here using old materials to give them the original look. Only about 30% of the headstones are original. There are quite a few colorful characters buried here at the Tonopah Cemetery, like Frank and George Morojovic, who died on June 20th, 1907, in a terrible accident at the Belmont mine involving a runaway ore cart. Or how about William Big Bill Murphy, who is Tonopah's local hero because of his courageous actions during the Belmont mine fire. On February 23, 1911, there was a fire at the Belmont mine that killed 17 miners, including Big Bill. Big Bill went down into the mine a number of times to rescue other miners. And on his very last trip, the one from which he never returned, he said, "Well, boys, I have made 2 trips and I am nearly all in, but I will try again." Sheriff Thomas Logan is also buried here. He was serving his 3rd term as sheriff when he was shot to death by an unruly gambler in the red light district on April 7th, 1906. One of my favorite stories is the one about Bina Verrall. She and her friend Isella Brown were running a sort of a love syndicate con in New York City, where they said that they were wealthy widows and they would convince rich men to give them expensive gifts and money. Well, one of these guys fell in love with Bina, and when she refused him and also refused to return his gifts, he went to the police, and Bina was arrested. And it was figured out that the 2 women between them had collected over $100,000 in jewelry, clothing, money, which in today's value would be like $2.5 million. But during the trial, Bina pawned some diamond rings and she headed out of town. And then years later, she found herself in Tonopah, but by that time, her life on the run had taken a heavy toll on her, and she died of alcoholism. This is a cemetery that has been lovingly cared for and restored. It was a very peaceful place to walk and learn about history. And if you'd like to take a video tour of this cemetery, there's been one that was created by the Tonopah High School, and I will leave a link for that below in the description if you would like to check that out.
Ooh, that was scary, wasn't it? Even though that was scary, the history of this hotel is just as frightening in some ways. This hotel was actually founded by a brother and sister, and they did it to dedicate it to their father.
I know that was Leona and Leroy
Yes,
David.
And back in 1985, they decided to open the hotel as a tribute to their father, who had passed away back in 1910 in this horrible mine accident that claimed the lives of 107 local men.
What? Didn't he have a clown collection?
He did, as a matter of fact. He had 150 clown collection.
I love it.
You can laugh at that.
That's kind of a nice way to start, though. I mean, they have a lot more clowns here now, but
Absolutely, and they've been taking clowns ever since.
if you have a
They started.
clown you want to donate, you can let them know, and they do accept clown donations.
Yeah, and as we take a tour of this place and check it out a little bit more, you get to see some of the amazing
Ooh,
things
let's
that are
take a
here.
look.
Yeah.
As we said previously, this world-famous Clown Motel was founded in 1985 by Leona and Leroy David. This brother and sister pair built the motel in memory of their father, Clarence David. And Clarence David was one of the men who was killed in the 1940s in yet another Belmont mine fire. And he's buried right next door in the Tonopah Cemetery. Clarence Davis had a love of clowns, and he had a clown collection of over 150 clowns that was left to Leona and Leroy when he passed away. And of course, knowing that Clarence David is buried right next door in the Tonopah Cemetery makes this place even better. In 1995, the Davids sold the Clown Motel to Bob Perchetti, who ran it for over 20 years. And when the motel was featured in a 2015 episode of the TV show Ghost Adventures, business started to pick up and people started seeing the Clown Motel as a fun and spooky destination. Perchetti continued to run the Clown Motel until April of 2019, when they sold the motel to Vegas resident and hotelier Vijay Mahar, who bought this motel and brought a new vision to the Clown Motel, looking to make it America's scariest motel. And along with the help of art director, photographer, and artist Ham Anand, he has given the motel a 360-degree facelift. He has revamped the exterior with fresh coats of paint and clowny motifs, and the rooms have been done in a variety of themes, including Friday the 13th, It, the Halloween movies, and The Exorcist. And Parfait and I stayed in the scariest room of all, which is the Unlimited Fear room. Let's take a look. And we're staying in the Fear Unlimited room here at the Clown Motel. Come on in, let's check it out. It's very clowny and scary, and it is full of creepy, spooky clowns. This is where Parfait and I are going to be staying tonight, here at the amazing and fabulous Clown Motel. And of course, it's not just a motel, it's also a clown museum. And beginning with the original 150 clowns of Clarence David, over the years, the clown collection here has grown and grown and grown. And they still accept donations of clowns if you have something you wish to give away. And they are working on an extension of this on-site museum that will be able to hold all the current and future clowns who will come to make the Clown Motel their very special home. If you want more information on the Clown Motel, I will leave their website and contact information in the description below. I am in love with this hotel, Parfait.
Seriously.
You know I have wanted to come here for so long.
She really has.
This has
She
been
bugged
on
me about
my
it for a while.
bucket list for years. I'm like a kid in a candy shop, because y'all know I like the weird and the creepy and the spooky.
The macabre.
Oh, this is just such a great place. I love all the art. It's just the perfect amount of camp and creepy and horror, and being right next to the cemetery. This place has a reputation for being very spooky, very haunted. Well, we hope you had a creepy good time with us here at the Clown Motel, world famous Clown Motel and Museum and Cemetery here in Tonopah, Nevada. If you get a chance to come here, I highly recommend you stop at the Clown Motel.
Absolutely. We've had such a great time here, and we want to thank our hosts, the Clown Motel, for all their kindness and generosity.
This is a wonderful place. The staff has been great.
Absolutely.
So don't forget, in the words of Buddha, 1,000 candles can be lit from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared. Thank you for sharing your time and attention with us here today at Meg's Magical Mansion and the Clown Motel.
Absolutely. Thanks
Until
again.
next time.
Toodles.
Boo! I love the scary clown. This is our room. We get to sleep here.
This is our room.
We
This
can
is going to
sleep
be
with all-
seriously creepy.
Do you see my joy? Do you see how much joy? Do you see my joy? Do you see my joy?
I love it. I'm so happy for you.